Hey everyone, it's cast member Emily here. Welcome back to Snow White's Cottage. So far, we've learned about Robert Iger's personality, his values, and his approach to motivation through the wiki page created. We have also learned through part 1 of the video series about Robert Iger's leadership style, his ethics, and the organizational culture of Disney. In this segment, we are going to take a closer look at the decisions Robert Iger has made, the sources of power he appears to possess, and how Disney has performed over the past 5 years.
Hi, it's cast member Zach again, and we're in the Snow White Cottage, and let's head into the decision-making room. Let's go.
Hi everyone, it's cast member Kelly here again, and we're in the decision-making room. As you already know, Disney is a global corporation that puts pressure on executives to make global decisions. Many of these decisions are non-programmed decisions. There's no outline provided to implementing these decisions. And since Robert Iger has become the CEO of Disney, he has made many large decisions for the company.
Hey, it's cast member Brian here. As previously stated, Disney acquired Pixar in 2006 and Marvel in 2010. Both of these decisions were made while Iger has been the CEO of the company. From the Bloomberg article, it states that the announcement of the acquisition was made 3 months after Iger assumed the role as CEO. The beginning process of the acquisition was made under Disney's previous CEO, Michael Eisner, but it's clear that the decision to carry out the plan was made under Iger.
He has also made the decision to acquire Marvel, a comic company. To illustrate the effectiveness of this decision, he's been smart about buying assets that contribute to the core of the company. He hasn't overpaid and he has created value. This is another large-scale decision made by Robert Iger and exemplifies the use of heuristics in Iger's decision-making. Iger began his career working for Disney, the Disney enterprise with ABC Corporation. During the time there, Capital Cities Communications acquired ABC. According to Iger in the New York Times article, the acquisition was relaxed and it preserved ABC's culture, and lessons from the experience helped him woo the Pixar camp, and then he used the same skills to win over Marvel executives during the acquisition of the company. It's clear heuristics were used in building acquisition relationships through Iger's positive experience with Capital City Communications' acquisition of ABC.
There's one more decision that we'd like to discuss about Robert Iger and Disney. From the article regarding rent on YouTube, it states that Disney announced that they're trying to create a joint effort with YouTube to rent Disney videos for a low price.
This idea to rent videos on YouTube is extremely creative. While renting is available through iTunes, this only targets the Apple consumers. However, providing the online resource through a global website, Disney isn't limiting who it's targeting. This will assist the revenues in the movie industry of Disney, and it can assist in selling various merchandise through the consumer's ability to watch the video, and their desire afterwards to seek merchandise to support the video. Through all of this discussion, we have also concluded that Iger is an intuitive person.
Iger has to continuously make new decisions regarding all of the different segments of Disney Corporation. He is also a risk taker. According to the New York Times article, Iger is a risk taker who isn't afraid to make decisions that rankle the employees of the company. Zach, it's clear that we've determined that without Iger's quick decision-making, Disney could not succeed as quickly as it does.
Thanks for joining us in the decision-making room. Now, let's head to the power room and see the type of power that Iger holds in Disney, as well as the organizational politics. Let's go. Oh, hey, Emily. Wasn't expecting to find you in the power room. Why don't you tell us more about Robert Iger's power?
It seems that Robert Iger relies most heavily on legitimate power and referent power to get things done at Disney, with some emphasis on expert power. All of these power forms stem from the trust that Disney employees feel they can place in Iger to orchestrate the countless operations that take place inside the corporation and with other companies.
For example, Steve Jobs states that since Iger took over as CEO, the amount of energy and passion at Disney has increased dramatically. The business lines were really in boxes before Bob empowered them. This demonstrates Iger's enthusiasm for the company through his leadership position gained from his referent power with his employees. Iger also demonstrates expert power through his previous experience with ABC Corporation. Iger's high charisma and desire to work directly with his employees further empower his role as a leader.
As far as influencing his employees, Iger is a peacemaker, and his influence tactics reflect a diplomatic personality. Rational persuasion, inspirational appeals, and consultation are the primary methods that Iger seems to implement, and with good effect. Consultation probably plays the biggest part of all, since it aligns so fully with Iger's policy of keeping his door open and reducing the autocratic role that tends to come along with the CEO position. Iger's excitement and passion at Disney bring forward genuine inspirational appeal.
Since Iger's long history in the media field with varied job roles allows him to now make good use of rational persuasion, with plenty of experience and well-developed foresight to back his decisions. All of this information clearly demonstrates Iger's positive power, as well as his influence in the company. He has the ability, demonstrates the process, without a strong influence by the use of authority.
Iger also shows social power through his efforts to support Disney company as a whole, rather than his own personal gains. From the New York Times article, Stacy Sinner, chief executive of DreamWorks, says that Iger's enthusiastic embrace of changes, washing across the industry, that makes it possible for DreamWorks and Disney to come together. Iger has represented the company through his social power of innovating and attending the industry.
Organizational politics are implicitly discouraged by Iger, with his desire to keep the lines of communication within Disney open as much as possible, and further so by the participative management style that Iger has fostered during his time as CEO. It appears that no active effort to discourage organizational politics is taken by Iger. Rather, he allows things to basically sort themselves out by the example of culture that Iger has set.
Now that we have established that Robert Iger uses referent power and expert power the most, let's head to the last room where we will learn about the financials of Disney and how Iger has contributed to their success.
Welcome to the last room, the performance room, where we're going to discuss Disney's performance in the past 5 years and Iger's contribution towards it. The pieces of financial information we're going to examine are the revenues over the past 5 years and the stock price information in the market. First and foremost, the net revenues in 2010 were about $38 billion, and in 2009 were about $36 billion. Revenues increased between 2006 and 2007 due to the acquisition of Pixar, and they decreased between 2008 and 2009 due to the financial crisis in the nation. In the tighter economy, there is less opportunity for the modern-day consumer to spend on name-brand Disney products or vacation at a Disney destination. Why did we choose this topic to talk about in the performance room? Zach, could you tell us a little bit more?
Of course. It's clear that revenues are obtained when a company makes sales or transactions in the global market. The revenues as a whole Disney company is a combination of all their different segments of company. Looking at the revenues as a whole indicates how the company is performing as a whole.
Iger's position in Disney clearly affects the company's financial data as a whole, but is not the source of the performance of the company as a whole. He manages the business segments effectively, but all the financial results from the different segments create the financial data for the corporation. For example, from the New York Times article, Iger states that 95% of the decisions made at the company are by other people, meaning that he just oversees the decision-making and the performance of the company, but he doesn't implement the success of the company as a whole.
The other financial data found is the stock market price in the past 5 years. In 2010, the stock price was $37.51. In 2009, it was $32.25. And as of November 28, 2011, the stock price was $34.07. Overall, this data reflects the trends and successes of Disney and the market as a whole. There is a large difference between 2008 and 2009 due to the stock market crash in 2008. But the rebound in 2009 to $32.25 from the 2007 data of $32.28 shows Disney's strong success in the market and their ability to have success between the different segments. Brian, you want to tell us why this data was chosen?
Absolutely, Emily. This data was chosen to discuss more in depth because the stock price is what everyday consumers look at to determine the success of a company. Therefore, the data was chosen to reflect how the everyday investor would evaluate the corporation.
Since Iger is a third party in the financial information of Disney Corporation, he does not directly influence the stock price. The stock price is more largely determined through the success of the market and the thoughts of the everyday investor rather than the actual financial successes of the company, although there is a correlation between the two. Isn't talking about finances fun? Let's go wrap up our discussion about Robert Iger.
Recapping, it's clear that we accomplished going the distance through the wiki page and Snow White's cottage. It's clear that we've discussed many different things about Robert Iger. The wiki page discussed first and foremost why Iger was chosen as the leader for this project.
The wiki page discussed key components of Iger's personality, his values, and his approach to motivation.
Part 1 of the video project discussed Disney's organizational culture, Iger's leadership style, as well as the ethics Iger and Walt Disney Company as a whole carry through the business.
Part 2 of the Iger video dug further into Iger's life and discussed Iger's decision-making skills, his approach to power, and the politics of Disney Company, as well as the financial data and the success of Walt Disney Company's performance as a world corporation.
Wow, we've really taken this information to infinity and beyond. Taking the spirit of Disney into account, we'd like to become leaders with a pinch of Mickey, the spring of Tigger, the determination of Pocahontas, with a spoonful of Jiminy Cricket. In other words, the group decided that we wanted to become reputable leaders with the referent and expert power of Mickey Mouse. Tigger will show our extroverted side through a positive approach to motivation, creating a strong company culture as well. The determination of Pocahontas will show our value of loyalty to our tribe or company, as well as the motivation to succeed and perform to the best of our abilities. Lastly, Jiminy Cricket, our conscience, will allow us to become ethical leaders in the workforce in the future, always putting the right answer before the easy one.
Looking back at all that was said, Robert Iger is an accomplished leader. The one thing that we will change on his leadership is his efforts integrating himself into the well-known business world. While it is true that filling the shoes of Walt Disney is a task not every man can do, Iger is not a household name among successful business leaders in America. Most everyday consumers do not know of Iger, which is now he likes it because he likes being a behind-the-scene leader. As a group with many strong Type A personalities, this is not the approach we would have taken in the company. But Iger has still done a great job leading a world corporation.
Thank you so much for coming with us on our journey through Snow White's cottage. We hope you enjoyed learning about Robert Iger as much as we did. Signing off are cast members Emily, Zach, Brian, Alyssa, and Kelly, with a quote from The Fox and the Hound. Goodbye may seem like forever, farewell is like the end, but in my heart is the memory, and there you will always be.